It happened in a totally unexpected way. I always thought I could trust my husband, but it turns out I was wrong. He works in an office, and my mom works in that office too. She always had some kind of premonition about James, but I never thought it would come to this. I don't know why, but my mom never liked or trusted my husband. James was often late, but I thought he was just overworked, so I didn't pay much attention to it. I also had a half-sister, Emily, who was 2 years younger than me. She had been coming to visit us a lot lately. I love her very much, so I was always happy to see her. She loved to talk about life with James, and he seemed to enjoy her company. He would always smile at her and they would laugh together. If I didn't know them, I would have thought they were a couple. I thought it was strange that James became very distracted, especially when he forgot about our traditions, such as our morning cup of coffee and chocolate or our couple's exercises. It was unlike him to forget these little rituals that were always important to us. When I asked him about work, he would just mumble something to himself and change the subject. I tried not to think about it, but it was hard to ignore the feeling that something was wrong. My mom, Helen, decided to stay in the office late and keep an eye on him. She had her suspicions, and she wasn't going to let them go unchecked. It turned out that he had gone to the bathhouse with his friends. All his friends from work were single. I understood them perfectly well. They wanted to go out, have fun, and enjoy freedom. But why did my husband go with them? It seemed out of character for James, who had always devoted himself to his home life. The next day my mother told me about it, but I didn't believe her and thought she was exaggerating or reading too much into it. I asked her not to say that again, and Mom was offended. She was hurt that I didn't trust her intuition, but I just wanted to have faith in my husband. After 5 days of such long delays at work, Mom came to see me again. She insisted that I needed to face the truth. I asked her to apologize, but she refused. She said she wouldn't forgive me if I didn't go with her to make sure. I had to go with her and make sure of it. I couldn't let the tension between us continue, and I needed to find out the truth. We went to the office and hid in the office where my mom worked. After a while, James packed up his things and left with his friends. We followed them, trying to stay out of sight. Unfortunately, we soon lost sight of them on the busy streets, but Mom told us not to get upset because she had the location of everyone in the family recorded on her phone. This was very strange because Emily was at the same point on the map as my husband. My heart dropped and I started to get nervous. Why was Emily with him? What were they doing together? 1,000 thoughts raced through my head, and none of them were good. An hour later, we arrived at the place. It turned out to be a sauna. I was very upset, but I hoped until the last moment that it wasn't true, that it was just a scary, stupid dream. I wanted to believe that there was some innocent explanation. We went into the bathhouse. It was huge, with many rooms and many strangers. It was chaotic, but I managed to find my husband and his friends. They were in a separate room, laughing and drinking. I took a deep breath and walked to the door, my heart pounding. When I opened the door, I was horrified. What I didn't expect most of all was to see my husband and sister doing you-know-what. My heart started racing, and I thought it was going to jump out of my chest. James immediately started apologizing, his face pale with shock. Emily looked equally stunned, but I couldn't bear to listen to their excuses. I couldn't speak. My voice felt like it was stuck in my throat. I turned and left, slamming the door hard behind me. The sound echoed down the hallway, but it didn't make me feel any better. James started to catch up with me, calling my name, but it was too late. My mom and I returned home, and I quickly packed my things and went to live with her. I deleted him and my sister from my phone contacts. I couldn't believe what had happened and cried all night, unable to come to terms with the betrayal. The pain was unbearable, and I felt like my whole world had collapsed. A month later, we divorced. The process was painful, but I knew it was the right thing to do. From that day forward, I always listened to my mom and her advice. She saw what I couldn't see, and she was right all the time. It took me a long time to heal, and even now the scars still remain. I learned a lot about trust, betrayal, and how important it is to listen to people who truly care about you. My mom was my rock during this time, supporting me through every breakdown and reminding me of my own strength. I also learned that sometimes the people closest to you can hurt you the most, and for the sake of your own peace of mind, it's okay to walk away from them. I tried to focus on myself by picking up old hobbies, spending more time with friends, and reconnecting with the parts of myself that I had lost during my marriage. It wasn't easy, but day by day I started to feel like myself again. I even started going to therapy, which helped me process the trauma and realize that I wasn't guilty of anything. I realized that I deserved more, that I deserved someone who truly valued and respected me. Now, when I look back, I see a different person, a stronger person. I know that I can stand up to anything that comes my way. I still have moments of sadness, especially when I think about the sister I lost, but I also know that I made the right choice. My peace and happiness is more precious than any relationship, and I will never jeopardize that again.